Good morning, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio and FNP Wargamers. This might end up being a hot take, not hot take. I don't even know what really qualifies as a hot take. I guess I can put my own definition. That's a little segment I'm looking at doing. I've already did the graphic for it, but now I'm starting to doubt the content I was going to do for it. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Right now, we're going to call this a pseudo hot take. Certainly some of my detractors will come out and say, oh, there's John again with another hot take, or there's John again complaining about stuff, when we're already spoiled. Yeah, man, let me tell you, I've got to say I am very privileged. I think we all are, that we're living in a time, and at least here in the US, I don't know about other places in the world, that are able to be able to play these games, get these miniatures regularly, and live in this, in an area where I have a plethora of places that I can go to play and buy Marvel Crisis Protocol. Right now, whether I'm doing a hot take or not, let you guys decide. But we are all definitely living in an age where we can praise and admonish and be critical and of our favorite product like this. And I'm going to continue to do so because I don't get paid by these people. So I can be as critical, as complaining, and as praising as I want. And if somebody doesn't like it, go ahead and hit that dislike button. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I would like for you guys to be entered in to a giveaway. Whether you agree with some of my videos or not, I would like the chance to at least get you some prizes. I've got a bunch of Atomic Mass game stuff. I've got Games Workshop stuff. I'd love to be able to give it away, even, like I said, to the people that they're not big fans of my hot takes. That's okay, guys and gals. It's okay. So what are we talking about today? Well, yesterday, Atomic Mass Games on Facebook had put up about 23 hours ago, coming up on 23 hours ago, a post for, you're seeing the picture right here, and they were talking about, I'm going to paraphrase, but when the world needs a shield, get it? That these heroes will answer the call, go ahead and buy them now, get them built and painted, blah, 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 blah. So it was a really good article, or not article, but a good post. It was good in the sense that if you've seen my previous video, that we've been having a lack of updates coming from Atomic Mass Games, which is like, come on, we've been spoiled so much, and now it's like that vein is it's dry, it's run its course, and we need our fix. Atomic Mass Games, where's our stuff? And like I said, we're spoiled, privileged, whatever you want to call it, but it's like, come on, give us our stuff, guys. And I mean, it's been up until yesterday, that was about 21 days. I'm looking at the calendar here. I think 21 days since we've actually had our last really official Atomic Mass Games or Marvel Crisis Protocol update, which, they like I said before, they've got in other videos, and I think even this is like my fourth or fifth take for this video, that Star Wars, Legion, X-Wing, and even surprisingly Armada still need, not still need, but are going to be getting updates, since they are now in control of it. I believe they took control of it about this time last year, and after they got through all the updates and FAQs, they started cranking out new product. So everything is finally moving apace. So I imagine with 2022, we're going to start seeing more of the Star Wars franchise that they took from Fantasy Flight Games, and they've taken control over. So that's really good, because that gets another creative team in there, and they can really expand. That gives them also more money to be able to invest back and forth. Really cool. Bad for those of us when we're spoiled with getting weekly or 2 or 3 times a week updates, but it's like I said, we're being spoiled. And I do appreciate Atomic Mass Games giving us so many updates, so many wonderful, well-informed updates, and even going as far as to giving us the character cards whenever they do their transmissions, their panel to play, that we get to see stuff early before it comes out, so we can start theory crafting. We can start play testing, especially if you're using Tabletop Simulator, or you're just using a character, to say, hey, I want to test this character out. I'm going to use this one as the stand-in. Here's the card. I'm not worried about team tactic cards or anything like that. I just want to try the character out with a couple combos. It is really awesome that they're doing that, and I love it. It's really good. So enough praising and slight spoiled brat admonishing. Nick Fury Jr. This is Nick Fury Jr. Some people are like, well, where's Nick Fury? Why is Nick Fury Jr. black? We've talked about that at length. Everybody has. This is ultimately from the Ultimates universe, real quick. When Ultimates universe was created, they really liked Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, and that's kind of where that stemmed from. And so this eventually came over to the 616 universe. There's really two Nick Furies running around. There's Colonel Nick Fury, and then there's Nick Fury Jr., which is the one that we see played by Samuel L. Jackson. All sorts of wacky things are going on with Nick Fury, like Nick Fury Sr. There we go. In the comics right now, I'm not going to go into length about that, but once Fantastic Four kind of peeks up over the horizon and we get an idea of what's going to be coming down the line for that, we might talk about Nick Fury. Now, speaking about Fantastic Four, there's a little bit of tie-ins here. So now, do we know that this right here, what you're seeing with this cast of characters, is this going to be the people that are going to be in the S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation? There's nothing saying it is, but I think it's logical to assume this is the group of heroes and villains that are going to make up the team affiliation. And some of you might be asking, what the F? Why are some of these characters on here? And then why are there some characters that are in the game right now not in there? And who are they? So you might have seen in the thumbnail. We're going to go ahead and address that right now. So Lisa, let's talk about the ones that are on in this picture right here, right now. They're the most important to talk about. So in the MCU, Rhodey, our War Machine, and that's where he comes in kind of as an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now in the comics, as far as I've researched, and I only spent about 2 hours doing the research, looking through multiple databases for Marvel Comics characters, he was not a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now that doesn't mean that he wasn't. I could have missed it. But they might have just included him in there because like the MCU, I think the Age of Ultron, he was working with S.H.I.E.L.D. They might have just tossed him in there to help bolster the roster. I don't know. And maybe just to give him a good home. Maybe. I'm not sure, guys and gals. If you know, maybe it's something I missed, put it in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now, obviously, the Black Widow, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. miniature, she needs to be in there. Absolutely. Hawkeye, yes, obviously. Iron Man, believe it or not, yes. He is. Tony Stark was a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. in some form or another. Now, She-Hulk, yes. She was part of the Hulk Busters group with, it was like 3 or 4 other characters. Like one character is like named, if I remember, Cheesecake or Cupcake. I think Cheesecake, that sounds accurate. And a couple other characters, nothing super powered, but she was a full-blown S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Actually, I think she had a very limited series. It was called She-Hulk, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So this makes sense for her to be in there. Same thing with Winter Soldier. He did work with S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while. And Taskmaster was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent before becoming Taskmaster. And then after a whole bunch of series of stuff in the comics, he would go to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. training upcoming heroes as part of the initiative. So he was full on training. I mean, he's a guy's a mercenary, so he can switch sides. He tends to be on the bad side a little bit more often, but he was definitely an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not because he has a shield, but because he literally was and then worked for them. And now is, I think in the comics, on the run or was on the run for killing Maria Hill And it's been about a year, maybe 2 years since that happened, and it's all getting wrapped up. At any rate, so that kind of like rounds out why these characters are in there. But I don't want to drag this out too much longer. So who's on here or who's not in here that should be? Well, first up, Steve Rogers, Captain America. I'm trying to read here. Yes, it was post Superhuman Registration Act, which led to the Civil War 1, and also when he took it over from Norman Osborn. So he should be there. He was a director. And then, of course, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Now, mind you, I think the Green Goblin, the way I look at the Green Goblin in Marvel Crisis Protocol, is more the original Spider-Man foe and Sinister Six member and all that jazz. I mean, even looking at his costume, it's like, it's screaming, original. And Norman Osborn, when he was director of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think he was running around with the Iron Patriot suit of armor. So, it's a different Norman Osborn, but they could have easily kind of squeezed him in there. It's not that hard to put him on that roster, and it would really be a really cool thing because we see a lot of heroes like Rogue and Gambit popping up in criminal groups, but not a lot of rogues or villains popping up in hero groups. So I think that's something they could have done initially or right away, but maybe we'll see that be an addition later on. So another character that should be in there for sure is Sam Wilson, the Falcon. It's like, why isn't the Falcon in there? If I remember correctly, Falcon was, he was a former, in the cartoons, he was a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Now, in the MCU, he was not a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And if you know, in the 616 universe or the MCU or the Ultimate, man, there's so many universes. So basically, he is a member. So why isn't he in there, right? And even in the 616, he did serve in as part of S.H.I.E.L.D. So where is he? Why isn't he in the affiliation? And please don't say, well, John, they can only fit so many people in the affiliation. If you haven't looked at the affiliation list, go to the Atomic Mass page. You can look at their team affiliation list and look at some of those lists. Look at the Avengers roster and tell me that they couldn't put it in there. Now, this could be the initial roster that shows up on the card that comes with Nick Fury Jr. and the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, which makes sense because then everybody gets like a little small card and you can only fit so many characters. Makes sense, guys. Totally makes sense. But I'm hoping that the affiliation will at least include them. And also a character that's not available yet, but I really feel like she's going to make it because she fits multiple rosters, is Quake. Now, if you watch the S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, you'll know, played by Chloe Bennett, I believe is her name. She was the main protagonist on the show, eventually gets her Quake powers and everything. She was the hacker and becomes Quake. She was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the comics, I think appearing back in early 2000s, maybe 2004, 2005, in this like one of the many Secret Wars series that came out. And that was a really brutal series, and the art was so unique, so wonderful. I really loved it, and I got to see this character. And if you don't know who Quake is, she has an ability that's she can basically do pinpoint vibrational disruption, and whether she can do it on a large scale where she can topple buildings, or she can do it on a fine scale to where like they went after Magneto, and she has basically such refined control thanks to her S.H.I.E.L.D. training that she was able to disrupt Magneto's brain pan and knock him unconscious when he was just whooping the crap out of, I believe it was the Avengers. So she is a very powerful character. Now, she's also not only originally a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and even at one point she took over S.H.I.E.L.D. as the commander, and then she's back to being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and she was an Avenger as well for a limited time, right? And she's an Inhuman. So there's a new character that can be on 3 rosters: S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation, the Avengers, and she can be in the Inhumans. And the Inhumans could use a little bit of a roster boost at some point in time. I think we'll probably get Karnak in there, maybe Gorgon, but I think we need to see. There's nothing really over here. I don't know why I'm looking over there, but we need to see Daisy, her or Quake. We need to see her pop up. Now, there's other characters, of course. I mean, there's a storied history of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that we could add on, but those characters are the ones that are the most prominent, and I wanted to end this on talking about Quake. So hopefully we can get a good eyes on with her here pretty soon. Now, does it matter who's really on there? Not really, because let's take a look at Nick Fury Jr.'s the S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation a special ability, and this is another reason why they could bring Quake in, because we've been seeing a lot of these new teams starting to get dual character team leaders, and Quake would be ideal. We maybe see Maria Hill, should be along the lines of Medusa, Madam Hydra or Sin. I mean, doesn't have any superhuman abilities, but lots of sneaky stuff and tricks. We could see a Maria Hill character, but I think Quake would be better because she was also a bona fide team leader, and she can also fill in the roster for the Inhumans and the Avengers, and she might have been on A-Force. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look into that. I'll check that. Anyways, so the affiliation ability for S.H.I.E.L.D. is the last line of defense. At least this is what Nick Fury has. And this is why it doesn't matter who's really on that roster. So it's not going to necessarily overbalance by putting a character like, say, the Green Goblin on there. It's not going to really disrupt it. And yeah, they don't have to put them on there because you can just build your S.H.I.E.L.D. team, get your 51%, and then add in another character. I get it, guys. I get it. I would just like to see some more crossover, characters popping up. That's wish listing, and it also fits with, the actual lore. Anyways, last line of defense. I've talked about it before. So if you have fewer victory points than your opponent, the first time each round an allied character is basically when you lose one of your characters to being dazed or KO'd, you score a victory point. That's if your opponent has more victory points. So it helps keep you instead. Now, if you have an equal number or more victory points than your opponent, when an enemy character damages one of your characters with an attack, that character can spend 1 power after the attack is resolved, provided you're not dazed or KO'd. Then the allied character can make a short movement towards whoever just attacked them. So that's really not a big deal in regards to adding on, say, the Green Goblin, Captain America, or Sam Wilson. As of right now, it's not going to really overbalance the game. Most of these affiliation abilities are not overbalanced. I can't think of one that is overbalanced. Maybe Thanos and the Black Order, maybe, but that's really it. So I will we see an update? Probably. Will Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, make it over there? Totally understand why he's not, because I mean, let's face it, this is in his Norman or his Green Goblin guys. It's not when he was kind of sane before he took over S.H.I.E.L.D., then dismantled it and called it Hammer, and then created the Dark Avengers. We had the whole Siege comic book line. Maybe we'll do a video of that in the future. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll see in the Dark Avengers. I talked about that in a previous video series, my 3-part series, talking about the lack of villains versus heroes, which it still remains right now that there's a big disparity in the number of heroes and villains. And as I said before, is Atomic Mass Games required to be even Steven with their heroes and villains? No, but that is a big gap that's going on with the team affiliations and the heroes to villains. Are they going to address it? Probably. They're pretty quick on cranking this stuff out. We'll see in the future. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this video. Please make sure you are subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you guys keep the updates. And if you don't have an account, make one. I know I've said it many times before, but if you want to win the upcoming giveaways, then you need to be a subscriber. And I need to be able to see your account information, your name information, because if I can't verify and I can't add you to the random selector, can't include you. So help me out, help me help you, because I've got a lot of stuff that's going to be given away over the next few months. You guys have yourself a wonderful weekend. Please, please, please let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See you guys.